Wednesday activity. So we're going to do a wrap up of our static electricity topic with this final set of experiments to show how static electricity works and the effect it has on different objects. So there are two parts to this experiment, both of which I will go over. Again, I will include a little bit of a video from another YouTube site just to help you out with this. But for the most part, it's been pretty straightforward comparing it to the other activities that you've had to do. And by this point, you should have a pretty good idea of what's going to be affected by the static electricity and what will not be. So in this first part of this experiment, you're going to have just a small plate or even just sprinkled onto your kitchen table. Just make sure you do a cleanup after you are done doing this experiment. So you're going to pour some salt and pepper onto a sheet of paper or a paper plate or just right onto the kitchen table, whatever is easiest for you and for your parents because you don't want to be making a mess. And then you're going to bring an uncharged balloon to the salt and pepper. So what that means is that you're not going to have rubbed it on your head, on your shirt, or anything like that. It's just you've blown up the balloon, tied it off, and now you're hovering it again about an inch above the salt and pepper, so you're not dragging the balloon right through that mixture, and you're going to see what happens, and that's what you'll write down for question 2. You'll write down what you are observing, what's happening. For the most part, it's probably going to be nothing. So now you'll charge the balloon, and again, we've talked about how you charge it by rubbing it either against your shirt or against your hair. And then you're going to hover it again about that 1 inch over top of the salt and pepper, and you're going to see what happened. And so it kind of gives you an illusion to what is going to happen with question 4. Did both the salt and pepper react the same way? So your answer is probably going to be no, they didn't react the same way. But what difference did they react? Like, how did they react differently? Wipe the balloon with a damp cloth, and what does this do? We talked about that in a previous experiment, that gets rid of all the extra electrons, which is what causes the static electricity, is that buildup of electrons. Wiping it down with a damp cloth will get rid of any extra electrons and uncharge it, like decharge the balloon. So now again, we've already kind of done something similar to question 6. Tear the tissue paper into dime-sized pieces, so just small pieces of tissue paper. Charge the balloon again. What do you think will happen? Test your prediction. Why were the pieces of tissue paper attracted to the balloon? So already in question 9, it tells you what should be happening in question 8. So like, what are you going to observe? Well, in question 9, it's already telling you that the tissue paper should get attracted to the balloon, and then why that was. Again, talking about the buildup of electrons. Where are there more electrons? Where are there less? And where are electrons trying to travel? They're trying to travel where there's less electrons. If you're in a crowded space, you're going to want to try and get to a more open space. So you're going to go away from where the people are and try and find that more open space. What other objects do you think might be attracted to a charged balloon? You can test a few objects and record your results. So what you did on Monday is almost answering this question. So again, you don't have to redo these experiments again. You can take the knowledge that you've already gained from our previous static electricity experiments and apply them to this worksheet. So last part is part 2. You're going to blow up 2 balloons, so you should already have one. You're going to blow up another one and then tie them shut. So you can tie them off, just tie them off like you normally would, but you're going to have a piece of string connecting them. So the string should be a decent size so that they're far enough apart, sort of like the width of my computer screen apart, because otherwise it won't work. So what you're going to do is you're going to charge one of the balloons by rubbing it on your hair or on your clothes. And then what do you think will happen when these balloons are brought together? So the reason that it is on a string is so that you're not forcing the balloons together. You're allowing them to react naturally when one is charged and the other is not. So you're going to make a prediction first, and then you're going to test the prediction. So you're going to see what happens. So your job when these 2 balloons are together or on the same string, you're just going to hold the string in the middle and allow them to start to drift together, and you're going to see what happens to them. When do they repel? Do they attract? What happens? Then you're going to wipe them both clean, and now you're going to charge both of the balloons. You're going to rub both balloons on your head, have that string still in the middle, and let them go and see, do they come together? Do they repel? What is happening with them? So you're going to test your predictions, and then you're going to finally wrap up by answering, what did you learn about static electric charges? So in this example here with question 6, where we're charging both balloons, you're going to see what happens when excess buildup of electrons come together. So when a lot of electrons start to come together, more than likely what's going to happen is they're going to be like a magnet on the same plane. They're going to start to repel each other. Whereas for question 4, more than likely what's going to happen is they may, just like with our salt and with our tissue paper, they're going to start to come together and get attracted to each other. Again, it's best to test the experiment yourself so you can see these results for yourself. As well, I'll post another video online for you guys to look at to see some of these. It won't be all of these experiments, but it'll be enough that you get the general idea of what's supposed to be happening. If you have any questions for this will be due on Friday, so submit it to me as soon as you have it done. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out, and I'll be back again on Friday with a new video for you guys. Have a good night. See ya.